We talked overtime elite. Let's go to the G League Ignite and talk about Marjon Beauchamp, who is a 20-year-old 6'6" guard who's probably a late first round player. I would say. First of all, do you agree with that he's going to be a first rounder? Is there a chance that he pushes lottery or chance that he slides backwards? Where do you sort of see Beauchamp sitting in this draft process?
Just based on how everything's coming out, I think I would be pretty surprised by lottery, but also with how this draft is, it's really hard to tell. Like the talent feels pretty amalgamous from like 16 to 30, and even into the second round too. So I think like Marjan's range could even be into the second round. I don't know. It's just going to depend on where a team takes him. Like right now, I would be very comfortable taking him in the first round. But again, like I think this draft could really surprise us, especially after the lottery and what happens.
Yeah, to me, it's really flat in terms of guys standing out or having wide tiers in terms of where those players sit. The question, when you look at his numbers, he played 37 minutes a night for the G League Ignite. He averaged 15 points, but couldn't hit threes, 24%. Didn't really take that many of them. Never got to the line really. Didn't hit his free throws when he got there. Rebounded really well, but like what is he? Is he like what sort of a player is he? Because the shooting's not good from anywhere really, except 57% field goals. Is that rim finishing? Is that where he's going to make his money in the NBA? Like, what do we look at in terms of the shooting profile?
Yeah, he is. He's an odd one to project, and I think that all of G League Ignite is somebody. I mean, not somebody. I'm trying to take the whole group with kind of a grain of salt because even last year, I think in some ways we were to say that we were lucky last year is the wrong way to put it, but like you had such high level
Yeah.
prospects playing there that it like Jalen Green was going to look awesome wherever he played because he was that level prospect. I think even for all the warts that he had at times as an on-ball player, I think Jonathan Kaminga looked really, really darn good last year as well. Either of those guys would be the top guy out of G League Ignite this year. So I think to me, looking at him and looking at everyone in general, I think Jaden Hardy's a really good case of this as well. It took them a while to get adjusted. I think just especially offensively, like their offensive context overall, that roster was a lot better suited last year with the veterans that they had. I was pretty disappointed with how they put the roster together this year. I don't really think they did a great service to the archetypes and guys that they put together. Um, but as for Marjan, like you mentioned, I mean, the shot is going to be the biggest thing because to me, I really like a lot of his ancillary skills and what he brings. I think he already brings, like, he's a very good athlete, especially vertically. Like you mentioned with the field goal percentage, a lot of that is getting out in transition, but he's also an awesome cutter. He's very good cutting baseline. He's good cutting from anywhere, but is able to use his vertical pop, especially around the rim. Um, I think that I have more confidence in the shot and where it could go just based on some of his priors. But it's really hard to, especially like one of the things that is important to bring up. Like you're not shooting from the college line in this season. Like you're going from playing in high school or playing like he played at Yakima Community College last year, going into playing straight up NBA. So like I think it's very different, especially given the level of contest that you're getting from guys. So again, I think it's one of the things I'm not trying to do like too much weightlifting for somebody, but you do have to like factor it in a little bit. Um, but as for like just his offense overall, like he does show some really interesting stuff as a ball handler. Like he's very shifty with the ball in his hand. I don't really think that I view him as any kind of primary prospect, but just a wing who could maybe run secondary pick and rolls or do some stuff with the ball in his hands, operating off of someone else, especially attacking closeouts. Um, I'm really interested in what that could be. But again, like you hit on top, I think a lot's going to depend on where the shot's at.
Defensively, he's pretty good. Is that going to be his NBA calling card?
I mean, I think to start, yeah. Like the way that I try and look at it normally is what is going to keep a guy on the floor to get them reps to keep developing. And I think for him, it is going to have to be defense. Like especially like he gets mocked to the Nuggets all the time, and I think in some ways that makes sense. But also, he's a guy who I think if he was with the Nuggets, like that's a team that's trying to contend right now. Like I don't know if they have time to necessarily wait for his offense to come around or for him to be a viable shooter. Um, so I think a lot's just going to depend on that. But yeah, I mean, the defense is definitely going to be important for him right off the bat.